The Nexus 6P is the hands-down favorite device of many Android users. At CES, Huawei brought the Mate 8. Now, what one Huawei rep told me is to really try out the Mate 8 and compare it to the Nexus 6P. I'm Kevin the Tech Ninja, and this is the Mate 8 versus the Nexus 6P.
Tech Ninja gonna break the mold, brand state control, scopes broad and the case is closed. Real talk with a hellified red, every word is unfiltered, genuine dread.
The Huawei Nexus 6P and Mate 8 both are made from aluminum. They both weigh around the same. The Mate 8 is 6.53 ounces and the Nexus 6P is 6.28 ounces. Which design looks better? Well, that's really up to you. The Nexus 6P gives you something unique from most devices with the back visor. I actually really like it, but a lot of people may be turned off by it. The Mate 8 gives you something more traditional. The circular camera design on the back is pretty sick as well. But what makes me tilt my head towards the 6P are the front-facing speakers. The Mate 8, although it sounds good, the speakers are still on the bottom, which makes it not as fulfilling and rich as the front-facing speakers on the 6P. Overall, I give design to the 6P. The speakers are really that good, and I like the visor on the back. The Nexus has a 5.7-inch screen with Quad HD resolution with 518 ppi, and this display is also AMOLED. This display is also a bit warmish, so the whites can lean a bit to the yellow side. The Mate 8 gives you a 6-inch display with 1080p resolution and 367 ppi. This display is an IPS LCD panel, and the whites look really white compared to the yellowish tone on the 6P. The screen-to-body ratio on the Mate 8 is 78% versus 71% on the 6P, meaning the Mate 8 has less bezel and it's a larger screen. The 6P needs that extra bezel space for the front-facing speakers, I presume. Overall, the Nexus 6P will have a better screen due to the higher resolution PPI and also the deeper colors of the AMOLED. Wesley Snipes is jealous on how black the screen actually gets. Now, looking at the software side of things, obviously the 6P is running the latest version of Android and it gets monthly updates. The Mate 8 right now is running Android 6.0, and the updates will really depend on the manufacturer to push them out. They're not pushed out directly from Google. On the hardware side of things, the Nexus 6P is rocking the Snapdragon 810, which is finally a solid chip, but phones with the 820 will be coming out pretty soon. So this makes it tough for me to think this phone is future-proof, whatever that means these days. The 810 gives us solid performance all the way around and is pretty much the baseline for flagship of 2015, but now it's 2016. The Mate 8 is rocking the Kirin 950, which on paper is one of the fastest chips out there, beating the Samsung Exynos chip found on the Note 5. I'm not seeing any side effects on performance, but at the same time, I've only used this device for a few days. It may take weeks for any side effects to show, but so far so good. The 950 chipset has so much potential due to its raw power. We just now need things to fully utilize it. When gaming or loading intensive applications, it feels right on par with any device I've used. I did notice a hitch here and there when playing games like Mortal Kombat, and it showed up in some weird places, but for the most part, it was mostly smooth. On the 6P, I didn't notice this slowed down at all. Both devices have 3GB of RAM, although the Mate 8 will have a 4GB option coming soon. The Nexus 6P does not have expandable storage. The Mate 8 has expandable storage via microSD, and it also has a 4000 mAh battery versus the 3450, and they're both non-user replaceable. Now with battery life, it's just so tough to tell which one is better right now, but the Mate 8 has been very impressive, but I'll need more time to install applications, and I'll give you that full detail in my final review coming up soon. Now for the camera. The Nexus 6P has a 12.3 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture. The Mate 8 comes with a 16 megapixel camera with the same f2.0 aperture, but the killer feature on the 6P is the 1.55 pixel size versus the 1.12. The larger pixel makes the 6P better in low light situations. The 6P also has laser autofocus, which makes focusing much faster, especially with moving targets. The 6P camera to me is far more better, and I've had better success taking consistent photos with it. The Mate 8 also has way more shooting modes, but I'm more of an auto type of guy when it comes to mobile devices, and some of the modes can be a bit gimmicky. In video is pretty much the same story. Now let's take a look at some benchmarks using Antutu. The Mate 8 scores an impressive 86,832 versus the Nexus 6P's 84,517. Both devices were freshly rebooted and have a similar layout. And this puts the Mate 8 near the top of the list under another Mate 8, which is the 4GB version, I presume. But something I did notice during these tests was the 3D. The Nexus 6P had an amazing 3D performance, and the Mate 8 looked a bit choppy. And I guess that was the reflection of the 3D score, where the Nexus 6 performed better. And this is pretty consistent when it comes to my real-world gaming test. Maybe the Mate 8 GPU isn't really up to snuff, but I'm not really sure yet. Now overall, to say what's best is tough. I'm leaning towards the 6P. You know, as more content creators are pushing out 4K content, being able to watch 1440p is really nice, and front-facing speakers is becoming a requirement for me to truly enjoy a phone. Also, you have pure Android versus a skinned version of Android. That's my pick. What's yours? My name is Kevin the Tech Ninja. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, and for more information, check out the links down below. Have yourself a great day and take care.